Greetings and salutations, this is Emperor Vespasian and his ever-beloved trusty sidekick.
You give me a name?
No, I said ever-beloved. It doesn't really mean anything.
Alright.
So, we're bringing you today our Soviet Flamethrower tank. I know it looks weird, I do apologise, but no, I don't actually, it's the Russians' fault. At the early stages of before the war, the Soviets came up with the idea of fitting flamethrowers to tanks. In fact, they weren't the first, there were quite a few people who thought of this, but the Soviets went in for it for a big way. And they got the standard T26, which was just a bog standard T26 tank, and they left a machine gun turret on it. The original T26 had two machine guns mounted on the roof. They took one of those turrets and they fitted a flamethrower to it, which was very useful because it can set fire to people. So this is the tank you can see just here. Here's the tank. It's quite a simple vehicle. It's just a standard T26 with a flamethrower turret. There's nothing clever about it. It's quite simple.
Soft turret.
I have not yet seen one of these to buy anywhere else. I made this. I had quite a few T24 chassis knocking around. T26 chassis knocking around. I don't know how I ended up with so many T26 chassis. There must have been a reason. And so I converted some into the different versions of T26. T26 was a tank that was very, very augmented. There were lots of different versions of it. And this is one of them. This is the flamethrower tank. Flamethrower wise, the flamethrowers are quite useful in the game of bolt action. They're very good for taking out enemy infantry and enemy defences. They ignore cover, and they hit automatically. So they're brilliant at taking out things like pillboxes and troops in buildings and all that stuff. You find it really hard to dislodge. Especially when your evil bad guy enemy who you're fighting against in bolt action is dug into a nice big building that gives him a +2 cover save. And it's really annoying, especially if you don't have a howitzer.
I can just get a bomb and bomb the building and make it.
Yeah, well, not everyone has an aeroplane knocking around, do they? You know, some people don't play Russians.
I always have a bomb knocking around.
Yeah.
That's why I'm playing.
Too many. Yeah, it's a pretty basic tank. It's quite simple, and it was very ramshackle, like most of the Soviet stuff, but it did what it said on the tin, and there were a huge amount of them. So typically every 6 tanks would have at least one flamethrower tank supporting them, typically. That would mean that the tanks, if they came up against... The tanks were armed with a machine gun and a anti-tank gun. These are the normal light tanks. And they would come up against something like a pillbox where their anti-tank gun wouldn't do any damage to it, and so the flamethrower tank would come up and set fire to it. That would take that out, and then the tanks would carry on advancing. Also, light tanks were usually used to either break through enemy... after the heavy Soviet tanks had broken through the enemy lines, the light tanks would go through and raise hell behind. And so it came very handy for that sort of warfare if they came up against obstacles. So, over to you. Questions?
I mean tactics.
Well, you usually have questions. And then
That question, but our tactics changed.
You don't have questions?
No, we changed to tactics.
Don't you ever have any questions?
No.
No, okay. Tactics.
Look, we just had dinner, and then you dragged me down here to record some videos.
Yeah, because we said we would do a video for every single unit of the Russian army, and that's what we do. So, carry on.
Right, so my tactic...
Even though some of the units are silly.
Which one?
Well, this one, it's a silly unit. It's a small tank with a flamethrower mounted.
You destroyed one entire Japanese veteran unit with that.
Yeah, this is actually a very useful weapon, but that's why we're discussing tactics here.
What I use with this lovely flame tank is I stick it with some supports, T26s, and raise hell by burning. As they think that it's got T26s, they actually have a flamethrower directly at them, which just burns them alive.
Right. but I can actually tell it what it is, so it's not like the figures actually have any emotions in this.
But you were probably using my T26s as a bullet magnet, and my KHT T26
It's a flamethrower tank.
will burn you alive.
So it's basically a petroleum carrying tank.
I do think it will be very handy against a open top ammo car.
Oh yeah, they're brilliant. Flamethrowers are really good against open top stuff because you get that +1 to the critical roll. And anything
We found this last time.
Yeah, and it only has an armour of 7. So armour of 7, open top reduces it to 6, side armour reduces it to 5.
Okay, armour 7.
Yeah, so that means your armoured vehicle is reduced to 5, which is less than infantry.
Yep.
Now it's the same as an infantryman. So your armoured car is basically the same as an infantryman. It's just a simple calculation to make. Yeah, it's there.
Your tactic?
My tactic would be to keep it in reserve until something worth bringing it up against comes along.
What happens if you don't do the movement for it?
Well, just hold back. I don't like sending in things like flamethrower tanks early because they're expensive, really, and sending them in at the front of the army seems a bit silly. So I like to keep them in reserve and then send them in against something that's dangerous, like a building or pillbox, which is what I said before, because it's useful. I don't know, I try not to throw away my tanks. You are very good at playing Russians because you throw away your tanks. You just drive your tanks headlong forward in the hope they might be able to hit something. Whereas I like to hang back and see if I can hit
Actually, I remember that time where it was every single Russian tank versus the Japanese army.
Yeah.
And you got thrashed.
Yeah.
No, at the beginning I was getting thrashed, lost both my flanks, but then I just decided to destroy you with my last 3 tanks left.
Yeah. Because the Japanese armour is very underrated.
They're all veteran.
Oh, they're all veteran.
And fanatics.
Yeah. They're all fanatics.
Destroy every single...
They're all carry the same anti-tank, because bolt action doesn't differentiate between types of anti-tank gun. So they all carry the same gun. And, yeah, quite dangerous. Anyway, I think that's the end of the video.
Okay.
So, you do your goodbye thing.
So if you guys did the goodbye thing, have you still not come over name with it?
I don't know, whatever you say when people, you do that talking thing.
Outro!
Outro. That's a rubbish name.
Right, now,
That sounds like
let's
Marvel
do it again,
hero.
innit?
No, that is a Marvel hero superhero. Outro. His ability is to go out of things. Outro. No?
No.
I think it
Yeah.
silver suit and...
So if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe and comment down below whose tactic is better. Mine, which is to send these pots in with the flamethrower, or his, just sit back and relax and die.
Yeah.
That's everything from me.
And that's everything from him.
That's everything from me this time.
Huh. Right.
Be you.
Good day.
Bye.